Hey guys, and welcome to our channel. My name is Shannon Robnett. I've been in the commercial, industrial, office, multifamily, self-storage space for about 27 years, doing all kinds of development and construction. And I wanted to talk to you about a topic today, just basically investing in real estate with no money down. You know, you hear that comment all the time. You can do it with no money down. How hard is it to do? The real challenge is finding the right deals to make that a reality. But before we get into that, guys, I want you to subscribe to this channel for more actionable real estate content and hit the bell icon for the updates. Guys, we'd love to have your comments below as well, so be sure and smash that like button so you get more. Here's the reality. It is everybody's desire to invest in real estate. It's everybody's desire to invest in real estate with no money down. The question is that really possible? The thing is, of course it is, but there are conditions to that. But the stress of investing with no money doesn't really outweigh the benefit of just understanding that you can put together a cadre of money that allows you to invest with yours and other people's and still be able to take down deals. The thought process behind that of running around trying to vet all these deals and find the one that you can do with no money down versus coming together with a group of people and make that a reality is definitely something you can look at and weigh the pros and cons of that. So we're going to talk more about the investment strategies behind no money down. We're going to talk about the common mistakes that people make. And we're going to talk about the options you have along with some of my personal stories. You know, investment strategy number one is house hacking, especially if you're a veteran. If you've got the access to a VA loan, you're definitely going to be able to do something with very little money down. You know, but the concept of house hacking, for those of you that haven't heard it proclaimed from the mountaintops over the last couple of years, is buying something, whether it's a house with 5 or 6 bedrooms, maybe it's a duplex, a fourplex, all of those kinds of things, living in one unit, getting that owner-occupied financing, and allowing you to grow the cash flow where the other units pay or the other bedrooms pay your rent. Here's the benefit of that. You get to use other people's income or their rent to you as your payment to the bank, leaving you with little or nothing left to cover. Those are some great examples of how you can get into larger properties with little or no money down. But the reality is, do you want to be a live-in landlord? You want to live right next door to the guy that's calling about the water heater that doesn't work or the roof that's leaking? But maybe you do, and maybe that's your only way to get started. It all comes down to what is it you want to do in your investment thesis. So guys, I'm going to tell you, if house hacking sounds exciting to you, hit that like button. Here's a second strategy, wholesaling. Everybody's heard about wholesaling, I'm assuming. But that's the method of getting something under contract, finding a seller that has a house that may be worth $200,000. They're in a distressed or gotta sell situation, want to sell quickly. They allow you to put it under contract on an assignable contract for $150,000. You're able to assign that to another guy who wants to do a fix and flip, maybe at $175,000, allowing you to harvest the profits in the middle. Here is the way to get started on that. First thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna find lists. You're gonna have to make a lot of phone calls. You're gonna have to mail a lot of letters. You're gonna have to do a lot of things to get those 1% call you back and allow you to have that conversation. I had a friend of mine, he was an executive at one of the major oil companies down in Houston, and he just did the math. And he started out by mailing and texting thousands of people every single day. I mean, literally thousands of people, because he knew that he wanted to close one house a week. And in order to do that, he had to mail out thousands of letters to get dozens of calls to get one deal under contract. So guys, if wholesaling is what you want to do, why don't you comment wholesaling below? The third investment strategy is really just simply partnerships. It's really what I did to get my start and how I built my business. See, the partnership is you find a deal. Maybe you find a building that's dilapidated, it needs some work, it needs some things. You get that building under contract, you get your costs put together, you get your financing lined up. Now all you need is the money. Well, there's always that problem, right? But you go out and you find somebody that has money, doesn't have time, doesn't have the energy, and doesn't have the desire to go renovate that building and make it new again and get it full of tenants and create the value. When you do that, you're offering your services and your time as a way to do this for the other person that has no time and plenty of money. This is something that I have done very successfully, and it allowed me to build a portfolio of real estate that I had done with different partners, mainly single check writers, until I found myself in the precarious position where my projects were now getting too large for just one guy to write the check. So then I had to turn to syndication. But partnerships are a definite way to go. And the first thing you got to do is identify the people that would be interested in partnering with you should and when you come up with that great deal, put those numbers together and have something to go with. So if you really like the idea of partnering, share this video and we'll help you find people that want to partner on deals that allow them to put their money to work with somebody that's willing to go to work on their money. The last strategy is seller financing. A lot of times there's reasons that a seller wants to sell it, but doesn't have anything to do with the money. They just want to get rid of the headache. So the advantage of seller financing is you're taking over all of the management duties, all of the things that are involved with everything that's going on, and allowing them to just collect a check because you've taken the role of the actual owner of the property while they carry the note. In this particular example, you're able to do a lot of different things by getting this property under contract and allowing that cash flow to come through you. You know, the thing you got to do with a seller's financing option is you've got to find the right seller that's motivated to get rid of the headache, that's motivated to turn that into a cash flow instead of just the problem that they have currently. Once you've found that, the biggest thing is finding their motivation, finding their reasoning for what they're trying to do and hitting that number. I've done seller financing on both sides of the transaction, and some of that is just because I didn't want the asset anymore, but I didn't want to deal with the tax problems. The other times, I just wanted to get rid of the tenant. I didn't want to deal with them anymore. I wanted somebody with more energy. The reality is, at the end of the day, I became the bank and they became the hardworking citizen that made sure I got paid. But let's talk about some common mistakes that you want to avoid. Some of the pitfalls that nobody sees in real estate is the fact that maybe you've identified a property that even though you have seller financing on, doesn't provide any cash flow. So after years of work, you're not getting anything out of it. Maybe you found a lot of effort goes into wholesaling and you've got deals under contract, but maybe your pricing is too high. You're offering the seller too much and nobody wants to pay you a fee to assign that. You're going to want to make sure that you can avoid these common mistakes because really they're wasting the only resource that you have that can never be replenished, and that's your time. So guys, while these are options for you to get into no money down situations with real estate, one of the best things to look at is what is your time worth? What can you be doing with your time, your most valuable resource, to create the wealth you're desiring? There's always something to do in real estate, and there's always somebody that's willing to do it. So guys, I want to share a story from my past. It was actually my very first real estate deal in the commercial space. And I'd made friends with the lady next door to the job site I was working on, and I'd made friends with the crane operator. The crane operator had a need, so did the lady next door. So you guessed it, I became the problem solver. The crane operator wanted a place to park his cranes and a small office. He'd even take an old house. The old lady next door, she was in her late 70s, needed to move somewhere more comfortable because she was living in an industrial zone. So I was able to put together the deal. I did use $500 of my own money as the earnest money on the contract, but I was able to put that property under contract, do what was necessary, and flip it. That was back before it was called flipping, to the crane operator, and did a simultaneous closing where I made about 20 times what I had put into the deal. So I was able to put in a very small amount, an earnest money that was refundable, and I was able to get that back, plus tremendous profits at closing. So guys, if you want more success stories, follow us on Instagram, click on the link below. We'd love to see your comments below talking about what you've done, and let us know what we can do to further your real estate journey. As I conclude, guys, I want to give you my final thoughts and summarize the takeaways you should have got from this video. First of all, time is money, so don't say that there's no money down. Second of all, you need to learn how to invest with no money and learn if that strategy is going to work for you. Once you know the strategy that's going to work for you, then you need to take the steps to get started. Once you're started, be sure and monitor your progress and make sure that you're making the kind of money that your time is worth. Also, make sure that you avoid the common mistakes we discussed in the video, and I encourage you guys, take that first step and get involved. Real estate can and will change your life. Join our community by subscribing, and let's succeed together. Don't forget to like and share this video. And for more information on partnering with us, visit shannonrobnet.com. There's a link in the description. Love to see you around, guys.